Comic-Con happened.
Yeah, I was about to say it's been a few weeks since we recorded, and during that time, Deadpool and Wolverine is almost hitting 1 billion.
Yep.
So
No shock.
I said this before. Everyone was ready for that, ready to have some fun, ready to take the piss out of Marvel a little bit. What I love about the movies is really is the love letter to Fox. But then Comic-Con, they announced that surprising Doctor Doom news, right? Robert Downey Jr. is Victor Von Doom. I'm not a comic book guy. I don't know.
Yeah, Victor Von Doom. Yeah,
Victor Von Doom.
They did this big dramatic thing where he whips off a Doctor Doom mask and it's him. But I would say that the more important information behind that announcement is that the Russos are going to be directing the next 2 Avengers movies.
Yeah.
That is the thing that's important. Because some fucking Rick and Morty directors and writers making yet another shitty installment filled with characters you don't like, and RDJ is in there as Doctor Doom, and it makes no sense. That would be like, okay, this is a desperation maneuver, and it sucks. But if those guys are at the helm, those dudes made 4 Marvel movies. Every one of them is a banger. Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. They're all great.
Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. So no Kang. Kang's gone. That Coliseum of Kangs, they got hit by a meteor. They're all gone.
They were all overacting in a giant Coliseum. The Coliseum was hit.
Loki was in his time tree, and he just farted on them all. And they're gone.
Take this, Kangs.
You're not telling me you haven't learned how to pause time yet.
I don't know how real this is. It came from that Chris Gore guy, but he was saying that he knows people at Marvel and that Kevin Feige has been quietly cleaning house and making everything right again. His mantra is, we tried it your way. We tried to make these phase 4 and 5 movies, the bait and switch movies, the heavy messaging, the lower cost, the lower quality characters. I feel like maybe, and isn't it true that Deadpool and Wolverine is the only Marvel movie that's even coming out this year in the first place?
I think so. Yeah. And then the next thing we get is Agatha All Along, which they didn't mention at Comic-Con. They didn't mention any Marvel TV. It was only movies.
Yeah, is Ironheart just going to go away? Are they just going to trash it, flush it?
Yeah. You wonder, or maybe they'll give it the Echo treatment. Who knows? But maybe they're going to try to Batgirl it. I don't know.
Or maybe dump it out on like Hulu or something and be like, hey, if you're interested, go check it out on Hulu.
Yeah,
but
it's a spotlight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not real. We wish we hadn't. I wonder if Deadpool and Wolverine is kind of the inaugural, like, we're going to make superhero movies again that can compete with James Gunn and whatever he's about to do.
Yeah, exactly. I think that must be what they're thinking. Like, our competitors are going to step it up. And Deadpool and Wolverine was definitely felt like a desperation move, because I remember they announced like a bunch of stuff at Comic-Con, and then they just like a few weeks later or a few months later, they like played that, and they're like, because there was no buzz on what they announced. I mean, obviously it feels like desperation to be like, let's bring everybody who made us money back.
Yeah.
Let's get the band back together. And they've been doing that a lot with things, and where they try to bring back the people who made things special, and it hasn't been working out with some things. Like when Peter Jackson comes back, it's like he's coming back for some movies. Will that rekindle the magic? Probably not.
He doesn't have his mojo. He's too old.
I've lost my mojo.
I mean, I think the Russo brothers are young enough, and we don't know anything like what kind of Doctor Doom is this, or is it actually a Tony Stark variant? Is it just he's playing?
I imagine so. I doubt that they'll just let him play a different character, same actor, different character. It's possible. It's totally possible. My guess is that he's just so iconic as Tony Stark. He is Tony Stark in so many ways. And Tony Stark is such an important piece of their universe that they can't like hand wave that. So I imagine it'll be some kind of end to this whole multiverse madness, and it will end with this variant being Doctor Doom. So even if they do that well, I could imagine like Doctor Doom fans or people who wanted to see like the MCU's true Doctor Doom will feel a little bit cheated from, like kind of a gimmicky version. Yeah. But it also feels kind of, to me, I could imagine a version that feels consistent with the story they've been telling all these years, because they kind of did set up that like Tony Stark is he's caused a lot of problems with his inventions and his ideas and his, I don't know, his over defensiveness of the planet. And obviously Ultron caused all kinds of issues. So I could see it kind of fitting into the meta narrative, you know? And I think probably they want to, my guess is that Hugh Jackman's coming back as Wolverine.
Oh, it's gotta. Oh, I see. You see the behind the scenes photos. Those were not CG abs, man. Those are his abs, baby.
Yeah, wouldn't you be so pissed if you were him and you found out they thought that it wasn't you?
Yeah, they just dehydrated the fuck out of him.
Yeah, that's what they do. He pumps and pumps and pumps, and then they do like he dehydrates or he drinks a ton of water and then he doesn't for like a day or something. He dehydrates his muscles all around, and he's getting old. How old is Hugh Jackman? How old is Hugh Jackman? He's 55, you know? That's crazy.
He looks great.
Yeah, he does look great. And he's a movie star. This dude's a movie star.
Yeah.
And he plays that character expertly. And I don't think you can, like, at this point, especially if you're going to put out that movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, with the mask and everything, haven't you kind of, like, officially christened him as, like, yeah, he's the Wolverine of the MCU. Like, we're not going to then turn around and give it to some other guy.
It would have to be Henry Cavill.
Yeah, you have to take your joke seriously. But so I imagine that everybody's excited about the idea of maybe Doctor Doom and Hugh Jackman being in a movie together. You know, it'll make $1 trillion.
They'll bring back Tobey Maguire. It'll be a big fuck fest.
Definitely
It'll be awesome.
back Toby. Toby's coming. I guarantee it.
They love me.
So we'll see. I think, it's been 5 years of just awful mismanagement, just shockingly bad mismanagement. And
part of that, the other coin of that Chris Gore's take was that Lucasfilm has done the opposite and is doubling down allegedly. So
it sounds kind of right.
But what's up? What else is coming out is Captain America with the Falcon.
Yeah. They probably, that feels to me like the reason that they've done 1 billion reshoots on that is because they can't really afford to have Captain America fall through on them. And probably Feige ordered the reshoots and was like, we're just going to spend whatever we have to spend to make this a presentable movie because we're probably going to carry Anthony Mackie forward, you know. And
then there's the Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. So they only focus on movies. That seems like a change.
They're definitely course correcting, no doubt about it. Maybe Feige feels like he's like, I can't just let this thing that I built go to ash. If he's behind the improvements, he must be so pissed about the last 5 years. But isn't he responsible? You know?
Yeah, he was in charge. He was the robot in the hat in She-Hulk.
oh my God! Yeah, that's interesting too. That show was so about the fourth wall, and then really got upstaged by Deadpool.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because you could. Like that as a fourth wall breaking character, you can foresee a series that could rival Deadpool, but
While we're on the topic of Comic-Con, Kevin Smith did show his trailer to the 4:30 movie, which we've mentioned on here before. It's starring his daughter's boyfriend, and this guy's not really a movie star, and it's shot with like Vaseline on the lens. It looks weird. It looks strange.
Oh.
Moments of it, I guess, look kind of fun because it looks like he's going to be able to make fake movies that the kids are seeing in the movie theater, and so some of that might be fun. I'll definitely go. I'm never going to miss a Kevin Smith movie, even if it's made out of NFTs or whatever. But,
we're definitely seeing that.
Our friend Dylan pointed me towards a clip on one of his recent Fat Man Beyond podcasts, and it was somebody was asking about his relationship with his daughter Harley. And he was like, hey, man, I when I had a kid, I was 28, man, and shit like that. And I needed to make a decision. Am I going to be her friend or am I going to be her dad? And I thought, let me flip the script and I'll go the other way. I'll be her friend. And the mom can be the parent, man. And I think I made the right decision because she came out great.
I was like, do I want to be my kid's parent? Or do I want to be my kid's friend? I was like, I'm going to put my money, my bet on friendship over being a parent. I wasn't done being a kid myself, and I was infantilized by a job of making pretend for a living. So I don't know that I was responsible enough to be somebody's parent.
And he's like, and I asked her recently, I said, what did you think of all that, about how I parented you? And she said, I never really thought of you as my dad. I thought of you as like my rich older brother that was just like there to have fun and spend money on me. And I was like, you shouldn't be telling this story right now. This is embarrassing.
Yeah, this kind of sucks, honestly.
But at one point I said to her, I was, was I a good father? Like, in retrospect, did I do okay? And she said, the thing is, I never really thought of you as my dad so much as my rich, older, fun brother with money. That's what I was going for, man.
I was like, teenagers find friends. If there's one thing teenagers are good at doing, it's socializing and finding friends. Like they only get two parents, if they're lucky. It's not to say I sometimes struggle with the whole you can't be friends with your child, because I'm like, well, I can be a friend to my child, in the sense that I'm rooting for her, but yeah, I can't be equal because I'm here to lead her.
I mean, yeah, it's like the Bluey dad. He plays with the kids, but he's the dad still.
Right. Yeah, Kevin, be more like Bandit.
Bandit is the best. Do you ever see? There was some tweet or something where it's like, how come it was like a woman. It's like, I was watching Bluey with my nieces and nephew. It's like, how come I want to fuck this dog?
Yeah, he definitely, I imagine, scratches the itch of a lot of wives. So there you go, guys. Be like the dog.
Be like the dog.
Copy the dog. Watch the dog. Copy the dog. You want to get your face sat on? Copy the dog.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.